This is a word of caution for overly permissive parents. A lot of people feel that they were abused as kids. Okay, I'll buy into it. You were abused. All right. Now we do know as adults ourselves that we too make mistakes. So I would kind of get over it and maybe imagine, that people were under pressure. Whatever the case may be, but you can actually find yourself paralyzed in purpose and in punishment with your children because you don't want to punish them. In my case, I way underspanked my kids because each one of them only got one altercation, if you will, in their life, and they were way under what they should have been, but they were instructive enough because my kids were not used to that. So it was mentally like, whoa, what? I used to use my voice. I'm sure you guys have noticed that I have several voices. I'm not going to put myself in a box for you. However I'm feeling, that's how I'm going to talk. And so you might get Tupac, you might get job interview, you might get meddling con. I don't know. It's up to God, the universe. I go with the flow, row. And so what ended up happening is I was paralyzed I didn't have a husband to do the dirty work, and I couldn't date because I was afraid of putting my children at risk. And I had a very good situation going where I didn't have social needs. I was way more than happy with the intention and all that I was getting, and I was being very blessed because I was being chased. And so, as in CHASTE. So, anyway, your kids will not do well if you cannot find ways of, I want to say correcting, reforming them, okay? Now, in our case, like I said, because when you're a parent, when you have actually been abused, which I actually was, you will either go into it's going to bring up my trauma if I do that, you know what I mean? And that's why a lot of the parents that do go abusive after they've been abused do go a little far because they too are being traumatized. When you have to spank your child and you were done wrong as a child, that can bring up trauma. It's different between taking your lumps. Everybody knows that we got to get our licks, pay our dues, but there are those of us that were egregiously treated. And if you hold that grudge, it's really going to eat you alive. But remember, you got to have a balance, and there are other ways of correcting their behavior. Remember that God loves you, and so do I. Have a wonderful day.